Hi, this is Erin from Blossy Bee. Welcome to my channel. The plan for this video is to unbox a recent order of crafting supplies from Shein, and then I'm going to start using some of my purchases straight away and include a review of them at the end. All the links will be in the description box below. I have not ordered from Shein for such a long time, so I've got this parcel here, and I'm very certain that I was looking for something that I couldn't find on Temu or Amazon and found it on Shein, which is what prompted me to go on there. But then, of course, one thing led to another. As it does. So let's see what we got. I'll try and minimise the rustling. Okay. This one just says silicone mould, but I know I ordered a couple of vases, so I'd say that that is one of them. And that's interesting. Trying to think how that will work, but I'm excited to see what that's like. Pop that down. Probably just roll away. All right, next. I'm just checking to see if I can see the description on here, but no. So this just looks like a cute little dish. So perfect. And oh, this is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, but this is another little vase mould and some excess silicone in there. Give that a clean out. So I think that's a really cute shape. I like that a lot. Yeah, nothing on there that helps me identify it further than that. All right, these are just some little disc moulds, and oh, you know, I think this is what I went searching for. They are just very simple little circular moulds with no holes. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I really don't like post holes in especially if I'm going to use them for magnets or things like that. So they're cute. I'm really happy about that. Oh, that's right. They came in several different sizes. So this is so exciting. So this one is the same but larger. And for people in Australia, this is around about the size of a 20-cent piece. So brilliant. Really happy about that. Oh, but wait, there's more. Oh, I don't know why I'm ridiculously excited about these. So is this the next? Oh, look at this. Oh, I am so happy. And so it looks like I've bought, maybe I bought 2 of each. I do like to have moulds like this either for leftover resin, which is always handy, or if I want to make a whole lot of little things to gift to someone or an organisation, you know, like little magnets or key rings and things. So that's amazing. Alright. Next we've got this mould. Now this one, I was hoping that this would be suitable for large key tags now, or luggage tags. So I'm not sure if they're going to be too big, but let's get it out. I thought it would be really interesting to try them. So they're a shiny mould, and I've got the 3 different shapes there, so I think that will be fun. Okay, next. Oh, these are cute. This is a little baby rubber duck mould. Look at this. Oh, I love them. And I love that they've got them facing each other way. I mean, they're too big for the most typical application of that feature, which is earrings. You know, you want them facing the other way, but super cute, and they look shiny. So I love them. Oh, I already know what I'm going to do with them. I just had a brainwave. All right, another vase mould. So this one is a really cute shape. I think I like these because they look more like typical pottery or earthenware shapes, and that's intriguing to me. Oh, what's this little one? Oh, look. It's another little sort of a vase or a jar, and yeah, I like that. So it's got quite a narrow top to it. Beautiful. I'll have fun making that one. Oh, this is just another little display stand. This one. And let's look, I think we nearly hit it in. Heavens, I went vase mad, didn't I? Sometimes what happens when you're on these sites, you put something, you find something, put it in your cart, and then of course it changes your algorithm, so they know you want to look at these things. So that's this one, and I love that shape as well. Cute, very cute. Right. Oh, another one of those. Now that was folded really badly, so you can see it's all bent. That was bent in half, so if that doesn't straighten out, I will have to return that, but I'll sit that there. And I think, last but not least, this looks terrible with the packaging, doesn't it? Goodness me. A 3-in-1 vacuum cleaner, portable mini home and car, lithium-ion battery, and I bought this just for my work surface, particularly after I've been demoulding eco casting powder products. I find that I get little crumbs everywhere, so I will enjoy working that one out. So, oh, it's an air blower as well. So, air blowing mode feature. Fully charged, green LED, red, working condition. Great. So it's both a vacuum and an air blower. So I could use it to clean out keyboards and things like that, I guess. So that's wonderful. All right. Oh, I'm so excited because there's a lot of things here that are going to be very fun to make. And I'm really going to enjoy seeing how these jars turn out. And in fact, I think I might get started right now. I'll get everything ready and then we'll check out how these look. So the first little batch I'm going to do are going to be 2 of the smaller vases, and I'm using the AR400 from Harry and Wilma, and I'm using Just Resin's liquid pigment. And the first colour was orange, and then I'm adding in a little bit of truffle. So I'm going for an almost terracotta colour, something that looks fairly natural and earthy. And I'm also going to try and achieve a little bit of a layered look. So for the next layer, I'm going to add in just some white into the scrapings of the last cup. So I have some of that tint in there. And then this is Tuscan Sun, which is a yellowy pale orange. For the last layer, I just add in the remaining white into the already tinted material in the cup, and then I'm just going to mix up the teeniest, tiniest little extra batch right in to that cup. So I've been working quite quickly, so I don't have any problem with it starting to cure already. And so that is those 2, and I'm going to give them a little bit of a jiggle and a wiggle in case there's any bubbles that need to come through, and pop those ones to the side. The next batch is going to be a darker colour, and I start off with walnut, which is a reddish brown, and I'm going to use 3 jars here. Start off with 2, but I add another one quite quickly, and just similar effect to the first one. So just pouring in layers and hoping that it ends up with a fairly nice blend and another layered look. The second layer is walnut as well, with some mulberry added in, and the little ring around the top of the mulberry went, oh, is it ring around the mulberry bush? And then I added in some white pigment, but I still wasn't happy, so I made up a little more of the AR400 in white and added that in. So I'm trying to get a paler colour than I started off with. Now, if you look and see in the pieces that I've already poured, that dark ring around the edge, that is going to be a problem. And I obviously didn't realise at this stage, but just remember that, and I'll talk about it when we're doing our demoulding. The remaining layer I'm going to just make up out of the leftover white and the pigment already in the cup, but I do mix up just an extra little bit so that I can get them completely topped up. And again, once that happens, give them a little bit of a wiggle and a jiggle, and these ones are set aside to cure. And we're only looking at about a 45-minute curing time for AR400 casting powder, so you get results super quickly. Oh, a little bit of overspill here, a little bit of robbing Peter to pay Paul, and well, just robbing Peter actually. Paul's not getting paid at all. But yes, and then a little bit of a clean up, and we're ready for the next mould. Because I had a little bit of mixture left over, I decided just to work with that, and I really wish I hadn't. So what you're going to see is me popping in some red wine, and then for some reason some black, then some white, and then some red. And if you're thinking why, I don't know. I really just wish I hadn't. It haunts me a little bit. My decision-making process on this one was very strange. I know I was looking for quite a deep burnt rust red, but I went around achieving that in a very strange way, and in fact didn't achieve it. So what I did achieve though is a really big mess, because that cup I had used too many times and didn't have a backup cup. And of course the abrasiveness of the mixture wore through the bottom. That's how I got that lovely big splush, and splush is a technical term for a giant mess that needs cleaning up. The last layer on this one, I'm going to use the colour Walnut, which looks really dark when you add it in, but it actually gives you a really nice creamy caramel sort of a colour. And then I'm just going to fill this dish up to the top, and then that one is set aside ready to start the curing process. The next mould is going to be the little lidded dish, and this one I'm going to go with a little bit brighter colour, and I'm going to use scarlet red, and then I'm going to add in different pigments through the layers, including red wine, orange, and more of the scarlet red, and also some of that Tuscan sun. So I'm really looking for almost a sunset, or a burnt orange coming to a lighter colour ombre effect for this one. Because the lid has a little raised piece in the middle, I made sure that I gave that a little movement just to ensure that the mixture got down inside of that as well. I'm just loving this bright orangey colour. It's so pretty. It just makes me feel happy looking at it. It's really a cheerful sort of a colour. Okay, that's the Tuscan sun going in now, and then this just finishes off this batch. And I did have a little bit of this mixture left over, and off camera I just poured it into a little sort of a pencil pot, and in fact that's it, you can see sitting on the right here. So demould time. First we'll go and have a look at the little pot with the lid, and I'm loving that lid, and it's just such a pretty top part to it. And then this is the base, and it is really pretty. I'm loving that line around it. I wish I knew how I did it, but I don't. So I just have no idea how to achieve that again. But loving it. Just pointing out there that the lid has got some the white sort of blotchiness through it, but look, I'm really happy with it. I think it's lovely, it's rustic, it's great. Okay, so this is one of the 3 darker pots, and I am disappointed to see I've got quite a lot of air bubbles down here. That's a common thing with pots of this shape when you've got that sort of undercut part, but overall I think it looks quite pretty. A bit blotchy again. Let's have a look at the oh dear, this is embarrassing. Okay, so this is the red, black, scarlet, white monstrosity, and yeah, it's not, I love the shape. I love the shape. I think it's the mould for that is going to be super useful, and we'll leave it at that. This is another one in that series of the 3 brown pots, and the top part of this one is very splotchy, and I'm really thinking I can only put it down to some of that pigment travelling. And remember I was saying how you could see that brown line around them as I was pouring in. My thinking is that it's something to do with me either not mixing the pigment well enough, or somehow the pigment reacting, and yeah, just didn't give me that really even tone. So a bit disappointed with the appearance of these ones, but again, loving, absolutely loving the shapes, and think that these will be moulds that I use again and again and again. Okay, so that's our little set of the darker coloured 3, and I'll just pop that one on its side there so you can see. So I did achieve that natural sort of earthy look that I was going for. The splotches were just a bit of a surprise. Okay, next ones. These are the ones that I did with the more yellowy colours, and I think that, well, I'm hoping that these ones come out really well. Oh, our vacuum makes an appearance here, because I've got a few little crumbs of the cured AR400, and so I was happy to be able to use the vacuum, except I'm not happy enough that I would recommend it. In fact, I think it's not something I would want to keep. It's just not a very good vacuum. But I did try it for a little while, and gave it a good go. So, okay, so these ones have turned out fairly pretty. They are the combination of the sort of reddy pinks, and then going through to the paler colours, and loving the shapes of these ones too. They really do look great. So after really looking hard at the results, I want to do a little experiment. So this is this mould, and I've already got in a layer of pure white, and I've waited 30 minutes. So my experiment is, can you get crisp, clean layers by waiting between each layer with the pouring? So my second layer, which is a very pale ocean blue, is going in, as I mentioned, 30 minutes after the first layer, and then another 30 minutes after this, I go ahead and make a darker batch of the ocean blue, and then finish it off with that. And so we will see whether this is an effective way of creating a tiered look or layered effect, whether it can be quite crisp and clear. So 45 minutes later, it is time to demould, and straight away I can see a problem. I must have moved the mould while the top layer was still wet, because it's dribbled down the side over the middle layer. So let's have a look. I can see straight away that there is some merit to this technique, apart from the dribbling. Actually, it must have been the middle layer. Yeah, it must have been the middle layer that I moved. And however, I'll tell you a little bit more about that one shortly. Now, I just loved the beautiful little sort of saffron coloured dish, And I wanted to try this time a similar technique as before, and I'm using a turquoise colour, but these are in 10-minute layers, so not 30 minutes. So I'm trying to still do a similar layered effect, but I'm waiting 10 minutes between layers, just so that the material has cured, hopefully enough that it doesn't blend as much. But I am also determined not to bump the mould or pick up the mould whilst this process is going on. And unfortunately, you can already see that last layer is just almost, it looks like it's melting down over the other layers. So, oh, look, if anyone has any words of wisdom, I would appreciate it very much. Just, this is what we're looking at from the side. So it is definitely leaking down the sides or leaching through the material. Anyway, let's have a look. This is the lid. Again, super pretty. Really happy with that. And then I'll demold the actual jar. And I noticed straight away that this one has got a couple of serious areas that look like bubbles. I'm not sure that they are bubbles or whether they're just areas where there was no material and it didn't pour down over it. Look, it's not the worst colouring effect, but yeah, those little holes in it aren't very attractive. With a little bit of excess, I did go ahead and use this little flower mould, and they look really pretty as well. So I was just examining the finished pieces a little bit more closely, and guess what? Haha! I did twist it fairly hard, and I'm now trying to do this one, but I can't get it to budge, thank goodness. But that's a worry, isn't it? So that method definitely did not create a good bond. After curing for several days, it's time to finish them off. This piece was the red, black, goodness knows what else disaster, and off camera I used a gilding wax and then a little temporary tattoo, and then I went over and sealed it all with a varnish. This is the liquid Artko matte sealer for eco powders from Harry and Wilma, and I'm going to use this on the inside of the vase mould pieces because I'm hoping that it will be easier to apply. I'd really struggle to get a wax into those centerpieces, so I'm going to use it completely on these first two lighter ones. These are 2 repeats of the first batch. I just wanted to see if I could get a lighter layered look, and so this was using the Tuscan Sun and just white together, and they came out really pretty. So these ones are going to be sealed on the inside with the liquid sealer, and then I'm going to use the Buan Nicole wax to do the outside as just a bit of a change and see how that goes. The Buan Nicole Sealer Wax is a lovely creamy wax that you apply with the provided sponge, and I usually wipe it on all over, do the next piece, and then by the time I've done that, it's time to start buffing off the first piece. And yeah, so they came up looking really pretty. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do exactly the same with the back 3. So liquid sealer on the inside and the Buan Nicole on the outside of each of them. I'm really not loving the mottled look on these ones, as I mentioned when I was demolding them, but I'm just hoping that someone might have had this experience before and can help me to try and avoid it in the future. And the last two pieces, the two pots, I'm just doing totally with the Bois Nicole wax because it's really easy for me to get inside the centre part of them. And that's them all protected and sealed. And then in readiness for taking some photos, I decide to go outside and pick some flowers. I did ask Tess if she'd like to come outside with me, and no, she was quite comfortable. Thank you very much. This is a little wattle tree that I've got in the garden, so I thought I'd snip some of that off. It has the most beautiful little yellow fuzzy flowers. Next, I'm going to get one of the last flowers of my Daphne for the year. It did such a beautiful job, but it, definitely the end of its season. Looking a little bit raggedy, but smelling divine. Then I've got some of this little hedging plant that I'm growing. Don't know the name of it, but I thought it could be pretty in little vases. And then we've got some little daisies as well. I don't normally like daisies, but I thought these could be cute in some of the little pots. And lastly, I'm just going to snip off a couple of little branches from our edging plants, and these are Hebe, and they have the most gorgeous green leaves with the burgundy leaves on the tips. These are our final pieces, and I have no hesitation in recommending these moulds. They worked beautifully. As I mentioned, the vacuum, not so much, but I've got definitely a part 2 coming where I start using some other pieces, and I think possibly a part 3 as well. I just loved everything I got in this order. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.